Hello, good evening and welcome to News 360 from the News Hub at Adisawe, Kanda. My name is Portia Gabo.
And my name is Isamoni. We have the headlines for tonight coming up in a moment.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by...
In the headlines, TV3 journalist heckled in the line of duty Sunday afternoon following attempt to cover a story on encroachment in Teshi.
And also coming up, some roads across the country remain and more trouble affecting livelihoods.
Fishermen and canoe owners from Adan East and West District joined calls on Fisheries and Aquaculture Ministry to withdraw task forces implementing a ban on light fishing.
Coming up in international news, French President Emmanuel Macron says Paris and net African partners must work together to wipe out Islamist militants in the volatile Sahel region.
All right, we have details including sports and entertainment coming up this hour. We'll return in a moment.
Our first story, TV3 journalist Paul Soa was heckled in the line of duty Sunday afternoon following an attempt to cover a story on encroachment in Teshi. The timely intervention of a good Samaritan saved the journalist from further attacks.
The incident occurred after TV3 received calls of an encroachment on a Ramsia site at Teshi in Accra. The crew guarded the lagoon bed of the Peshi Lagoon was being encroached upon by a private developer. Residents were worried the area, which serves as habitats for waterbirds, would be destroyed. A confrontation ensued as these angry men grabbed the reporter and manhandled him, pushing him to the ground. A good Samaritan intervened to prevent the irate youth from carrying out further assault on the journalist. A police team later arrived to resolve the confrontation after the rest of the crew rushed to the police station to make a report.
Some fishermen and canoe owners from Adan East and West districts in the Greater Accra region have joined calls on the Fisheries and Aquaculture Ministry to withdraw the task force. Well, let's continue the story. The fishermen denied activities of light fishing in the area, describing operations by the task force as something in disdain.
The controversy surrounding the work of the task force seemed to be endless. Some canoe owners and fishermen in Adan have refused to approve the work of the task force. The group contended the state security agencies made up of the Marine Police and the Navy are well placed to police legalities on the sea, hence no need to form a task force.
Our people that were attacked last night were not engaged in live fishing. What they were doing, like I stated earlier, was the approved fishing by the ministry and the powers that be, the genuine one and the acceptable one.
Fishermen say they are aware of the new law banning the use of light in fishing, but want time to change to new and approved methods.
There should be a stakeholders meeting in the industry, the fishing industry, where we can share ideas and come to a real conclusion, which can be beneficial to all the groups in the industry.
They called for dialogue with the Fisheries Ministry.
Meanwhile, the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Elizabeth Afolukwe, says the ban on illegal fishing in Ghana waters is not an attempt to deprive people of their livelihood, but rather an effort to improve the industry. The minister was responding to calls from some fisherfolk in the Adan West District to soften their stance on the ban on light fishing.
The fishing front remained divided following the ban on all forms of illegal fishing practices. Of more concern to those opposed to the ban is the formation of task forces to monitor wrong fishing practices at sea. As a result, a section of the fisher folks from the Adan East and West on Wednesday, June 28, stormed the Radio Adan premises, demanding the withdrawal of the task forces. They insisted the task force system did not have legal backing and therefore represents an illegality.
We are trying to tell them that if they didn't withdraw them from their participation, then we too, being as a human being, when you are going to fishing so that you can feed your family, and somebody is trying to destroy your work and your life, you can find somebody to rescue you.
But the sector minister, Elizabeth Afolekwe, disagreed.
It is a laid down plan, a plan that has been agreed by the previous government, both cabinet, parliament, that we have to devolve some of the powers of fisheries management or fisheries regulation into the hands of fishermen. And that's exactly what we have done. We have been able to constitute a Fisheries Watch volunteer group, and by law, we are right in doing that.
She traced the history and rationale behind the national call, insisting no amount of opposition would lead to a U-turn.
The government's position against light fishing is very clear. The regulation was passed in 2010. We all agree that illegal fishing is an outlawed method of fishing. Now, a new government is in place and we do not want to go back. If our fishermen are doing things wrong, then what we can do is to talk to them, speak to their conscience to stop what they are doing. But those who are adamant and would want to continue doing the illegal fishing, we are also going to fight against the wrong. We are not going to fight our own people, but we are going to fight what is wrong in our society.
The minister urged all fisher folks to rather comply with the directive in order to safeguard the industry.
And let's remain with fishing. The fisher folks in Teshi and Nungwa have declared their support for the elimination of all bad fishing practices in the ocean. The fisher folks again want government to empower them through their leaders in order to enforce the fishing laws. The declaration was made at a ceremony to mark the end of Homo in Nungwa.
Unauthorized, unreported and unregulated fishing methods have over the years caused Ghana negatively in many ways. Aside the fast depletion of local fish stocks, is a health hazard posed by the consumption of chemically induced fish and fish products. Again, the country was to pay heavy penalty when the European Union banned the importation of fish from Ghana as a result of bad fishing practices. These prompted amendments of the laws and affirmative action to regularize and sanitize the fishing industry. Yet, the implementation of the laws, which placed a ban on light fishing, the use of momofiller and rubber nets, dynamite and other unauthorized practices are being opposed by a section of the fisher folks. But fishing communities of Teshi and Nungwa say the unauthorized practices must not be allowed to continue.
We have done this in the past to prevent light fishing in our waters. Now we want to join hands with our colleagues from Nungwa for a stronger force. We would never allow illegality in our sea.
The chemicals kill all manners of fish and living things in the water. These are the reason for the depletion of the fish stock. The only solution left is for government to empower us to deal with all those who engage in illegalities in fishing.
Using the 2017 Homowo to drum home their stance, the chief fisherman for Nungwa, Tete Bote II, wants government to empower them to instill discipline.
Yes, 30 light fishing, Teshi 1 year light fishing.
We, the people of Teshi, have never engaged in light fishing. This is because the laws did not allow it. We have done it successfully. We need power to extend it across the country.
Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development is Elizabeth Afolekwe.
My advice to my fishermen is that we want them to work sustainably. We want them to do legal fishing so that they can sell their fish on the external markets, do their fishing in an environment of safety.
Fisher folks from Teshi and Nungwa at the Homowo event engaged in various activities, including tug of war and football.
And away from the fisheries sector, residents of Asiedu-Dartey and its surrounding communities in the Amansia West District fear they may soon be cut off from the district capital if urgent attention is not paid on the bad roads and collapsed culverts. They claim the poor state of the roads has slowed down economic activities and continue to worsen poverty in the area.
Amansia West is one of the deprived districts in the Ashanti region. Most communities in the area lack easy access to potable water due to activities of illegal miners. Apart from this, most of the roads in the district are in poor state. The road from Asiedu-Dartey to Kobeda and other cocoa-growing communities continue to worsen anytime it rains. All the culverts on that stretch have collapsed, leading to flooding with the slightest rain, making crossing to the other side of the road difficult. Inhabitants often have to wait for the water to subside before they can either ride or walk through. Krontihini of Asiedu-Dartey, Nanaba Forjao, says they have been neglected for far too long. Assemblyman for Abodom electoral area, Paul Kusi, said farmers are the most affected.
We the farmers over here, we are suffering. When we get our farm products, even the road that we pass to send our farm products to the market is very difficult for us. So we are facing a very big challenge here, of which we need emergent help.
Officials of the feeder roads were brought to assess the deplorable state of the road and submit report for repairs.
We are now receiving torrential rainfall, heavy rainfall, downpour. If care is not taken, especially the bridges, must be done as soon as possible, because here is a cocoa growing area. There are a lot of foodstuffs from this place.
The road from Asaman Junction to Agroyesum is also in a sorry state. Ashanti Region Deputy Operations Manager for Feeder Roads, Opon Boatin, said they will forward the estimate to the head office for approval. Residents in the affected communities will have to endure the challenge until the roads are fixed.
Now, poor road network in more than 10 communities in the Asiedu district of the Eastern region is impeding commuting and transportation of farm produce to market centers. The Asiedu District Assembly says it is not in the position to fix any road now.
The Asiedu district, carved from the then Tuhum Krabwa Kota district, is made up of more than 20 communities. Livelihoods of residents in this part of the region are sustained by subsistence farming. As a new district, it is bedeviled with numerous developmental challenges. Roads, for instance, are in bad shape, thereby impacting negatively on commuting. About a 20-kilometer road connecting Tuase to Krabwa and another one linking Kota to Adeso are all unmotorable. Motorcycles, also known as Okada, are the major means of transport in the district because most commercial vehicle owners have been compelled to withdraw their vehicles from the district due to the nature of roads. A Kia truck striving to transport suckers is seen stuck on the road. Farmers say farm produce are left for days after harvesting, which sometimes get rotten because vehicles are reluctant to ply the community. The coordinating director of the Asiedu District Assembly, Mohammed Avona, told the news team off camera that the assembly is not in a good financial standing to fix any road in the community. He said common fund allotted to the assembly this year to aid such projects has been withdrawn because the assembly has no chief executive. He again affirmed that last year alone, the district spent 50,000 cedis to grade the Atuaso Krabwa road, but the torrential rains had rendered it in its current state.
Let's now go to the Ashanti region, where newly installed street lights in the Kumasi metropolis have been vandalized, resulting in complete breakdown of the entire lighting circuits. Long power cables and cubicle components on poles have also been stolen. A report by Benjamin Edu.
A 2013 report on pedestrian safety by the World Health Organization lists inadequate visibility as one of the key risk factors for pedestrian road traffic injuries. Pedestrians are most likely to be struck by vehicles during periods of low light such as dawn and dusk and at night. In Ghana, the rate of pedestrian road traffic injuries is disproportionately high, making up more than 40% of all road users' fatalities. Government believes better street lighting can help improve safety and security to boost trade and investment. Preforce Limited, a leading electrical, building construction and distribution firm, has been contracted to install street lights across the country. But even before the lights are officially commissioned, some thieves have begun vandalizing the entire lighting system in the Kumasi metropolis. Administrative Manager of Preforce, Millicent Asante, says the practice is thwarting efforts at improving lighting system in the city.
Whatever street that you fix and the lights are working, you still go back and the lights are off and people are complaining. And you know, with lighting, security is very important. So if the lights are off and people are stealing or robbing other people because of that, it doesn't really help. And as a company, security is very much important to us. So it really bothers us. And we're very much grateful if the public will help us in identifying those who do that.
Meanwhile, the company is expanding its capacity to assemble street lighting systems to meet the needs of districts, municipal and metropolitan assemblies. The company's assembly plant at Asiedu-Dartey near Kumasi has the capacity to produce 500 pieces of street lights a day, in addition to other accessories. Some MMDCEs and assembly members have been visiting the company's plant. Municipal Chief Executive for Idras Secretary Dumase, Mohammed Salifo, was impressed with the operations.
I think they are doing a very good job, especially looking at the fact that they produce most of the items here in Ghana. It means that they are helping in job creation. One thing that makes me enthused much about what they are doing is the fact that they invite people from the district and the municipalities to train them so that they can take care of minor electrical problems within the district. Invariably, it's also a means of creating jobs for the youth.
Now, only six of the Atebu Senior High School have been provided with accommodation on campus out of the 88 teachers employed there. This school, authorities say, is affecting monitoring of the activities of the over 2,000 students. Benjamin Edo reports this has resulted in immorality and indiscipline among students.
The Atebubu Senior High School serves the entire Atebubu township. Though the school is fenced, some students are said to often jump over the wall to visit friends in the night. At an event to mark homecoming organized by the school and the Old Students Association, school authorities expressed concern about the development. Apart from the inadequate accommodation for teachers, the school is also faced with infrastructural challenges. The assembly hall is currently being used as dining hall, and authorities say on special occasions, students gather under this mango tree to take their meals. The computer laboratory can take only 30 students at a time. As a result, students go in barges. Roads on the school campuses are also in poor shape. The headmistress, Sofa Adahinge, appealed to government and other organizations to come to their aid.
I think that if we had a number of teachers on campus, especially housemasters, it would have helped us a lot. The only government agency that we can rely on is the assembly. And you know, it's not easy getting something from them. It's not easy at all.
The Member of Parliament for Atebubu Maintain constituency, Kofi Buckner, promised to address some of the challenges. Meanwhile, new executives for the Old Students Association have been sworn into office to run affairs for the next 4 years.
Still in the Bonafo region, the Brohani Health Center has recorded 4 teenage deliveries from January to June 12 this year. Community members are worried hundreds of young girls in Brohani do not attain higher education owing to early marriages.
A survey conducted by Action Aid indicates the girl-child school dropout from primary 6 to junior high school is alarming. According to information gathered, several girls of school-going age have delivered halting their education. Midwife of Bruhani Health Center, Maimunatu Ibrahim, said the facility has recorded 14 deliveries from January to June 12 this year.
What I learned is you can't feather after JHS, and if you feather, it's like for the ladies, you not get a man to marry. So most of them, when you finish JHS, you are lucky to finish JHS. Then that's it.
Prince Boama Mafo is the spokesperson for the Center for National Culture and Action Aid.
We did a survey and we realized that from primary school, the enrollment of girl child is very big. But when they get to the JHS, it dwindles down. You realize that most of them cannot even go to the SHS, which to us was a problem.
A Ghanaian teenage girl is spearheading an educational initiative to help bridge school pupils' ability to read in rural and urban schools. Samantha Boatin's Read to Lead Foundation has launched a reading project designed to build libraries across the country. A report by Benjamin Edu.
The children of Asiedu-Dartey in the Ahafua North South District of Ashanti region have little access to reading content outside of school. With high illiteracy rates among parents, there is little encouragement or emphasis on the importance of reading. With support from partners in the U.S., Read to Lead Foundation has established its second library and e-reader program in the community. Each library is stocked with 100 books, including Ghanaian textbooks, as well as storybooks with both local stories and international content. The primary goal of the e-reader program is to create a culture of reading where literacy will become a foundation in the community. Head teacher of the Asiedu-Dartey school, Daniel Gomado, is excited the students can now learn in and out of the school.
People will have to rely on years textbooks. They're not even adequate. So before this library, in fact, you were suffering. So it just came on the right time.
Daniel Gomado, however, lamented the deplorable state of some classrooms in the school.
We are about to vacate for the third term. My headache now is coming back from the long back, where the KG1A and KG1B and KG2, where they are going to sit is not a problem, because their roofing become a death trap.
A member of the project supporting groups from the U.S., Brian Bassett, underscored the importance of library facilities in educational system and expressed hope children in the area will benefit a great deal from the facility at their disposal. 17-year-old founder of the Read to Lead Foundation, Samantha Boatin, observed children in rural schools are disadvantaged in accessing quality materials to efficiently speak, write and read the English language. She developed an interest to lend a hand when she visited Ghana from her base in the U.S. 3 years ago.
We're also planning on partnering with some organizations to teach the students how to read, because if you have a library but you don't know how to read, it's useless. So we want to start doing programs to teach the students how to read.
Well, kudos to Samantha for that initiative. And away from the Ashanti region, an insurance expert, Gifty Fiadbe Alabi, has indicated achieving higher standards of journalism in the country would require adequate motivation. She urged employers of the media industry to be interested in the conditions of the employers. She spoke to TV3.
Journalism is seen as a link which connects problems to those with the capacity to address them. Journalists are seen as partners in development, conveying plights of the vulnerable and also demystifying policies which have direct impact on the lives of the people. The Constitution of Ghana recognizes journalists as a fourth estate of the realm. Despite the role of journalists in the country's development, certain occupational hazards associated with the profession is sometimes ignored by some employers. Chief Executive Officer of Saham Life Insurance, Gifty Fiadbe Alabi, said employers have a major role in helping shape journalism in the country. She bemoaned some journalists in the country have no insurance to guarantee their social security.
An employee in the media sector can go all out to cover anything that the public needs to know, bearing in mind that he's protected or he's insured as he goes out.
The insurance company has meanwhile refurbished the TV room of the Kumasi Technical University.
And President Kofi Buckner has left Ghana to attend the 29th Ordinary Session of the African Union in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The two-day meeting will be held from July 3 to 4, 2017, and is under the theme Harnessing the Demographic Dividend through Investment in the Youth. The meeting will also address and discuss issues bordering the institutional reforms of the African Union, the Continental Free Trade Area, and the implementation of Agenda 2020 on the socio-economic transformation, among others. The President was accompanied by the First Lady, Rebecca Akufo-Addo, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Shirley Ayokobutwe, and officials from the presidency. Akufo-Addo is expected back home on Tuesday, July 4, 2017.
You're watching News 360 from the News Hub, and still to come, Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources Joseph Kofi Adda hints government will set up 20 waste treatment plants across the country.
Also ahead in the news tonight, French President Emmanuel Macron says Paris and its African partners must work together to wipe out Islamist militants in the volatile Sahel region.
We have details coming up shortly. Do stay with us. Hello again. The Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources, Joseph Kofi Adda, has hinted government will set up 20 waste treatment plants across the country. Speaking at a stakeholder workshop to devise a 3-year strategic framework to execute the ministry's mandate, he said the move is in line with the president's vision of making Accra the cleanest city in Africa.
Ghana has been grappling with waste management over the years owing to indiscriminatory disposal of refuse and poor waste collection systems. Over 4,000 metric tons of waste is generated daily across the country. In 2015, the country was ranked by World Health Organization as the 7th dirtiest country in the world. Meanwhile, the current government has expressed readiness in addressing the country's water and sanitation challenges with the creation of the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources. At a stakeholders forum to devise a 3-year strategic plan to tackle the country's water and sanitation difficulties, Sector Minister Joseph Kofi Adda noted the government has secured a $2 billion facility from China as part of the ministry's waste management program.
There will be 2 plants in every region where we can convey the waste to and sort it out and decide what we're going to do with it. Remember, the waste can be recycled into different things. Some of it can be used to generate electricity. Some can be used to produce compost fertilizer. You need a place where you can heap all this waste and sort it out so that those who need it to support their factories will then pick it from.
Development partners and stakeholders within the water and sanitation sector, including Ministry of Health and Ministry of Education, are part of the discussion in carving strategies and roles to address the country's sanitation and water problems. The workshop is under the theme, Strategizing for a Cleaner and Healthier Ghana.
Watching News 360, and let's delve into technology now. IT specialist at the iSpace Foundation, Favor Ozichukwu, has decried the low participation of women in the technology industry, calling for equal chances and inclusion of women in the technology sector. According to her, high contribution of women in technology and innovation is the surest way of creating jobs to engender socio-economic development.
There have been numerous advocacies for gender diversity in technology in developing countries. This is because women are dominated by their male counterparts in science, technology, engineering and maths participation. It's estimated that 30 million employment opportunities can be created between 2024 and 2025 in the technology sector. However, harnessing the socio-economic benefit of technology and innovation by women has not been realized owing to inadequate technological tools, economic barriers, and lack of equal opportunities. In a bid to bridge the gender gap, over 150 women have been given free orientation under the Unlocking Women and Technology program. The initiative seeks to equip and empower women with basic technology tools to increase women participation in the technology industry and enhance business efficiencies.
Women are really scarce when it comes to coding and software development, so we're using this opportunity to get all ladies on board, come get a training all for free, and get environment where you will scale your idea.
Some of the participants said the training has been helpful.
It's very educative, and so far as it's concerning women, it has given us the chance to bring out our ideas and then also compete with the guys out there.
Now the focus is on the guys. They are all coding, they are all website. They are creating a website, developing apps, but we women, it's like we are left out. It's like we are just guilty from birth, but we are not.
Let's go to the Bonoafo region, and the Ahafo South District Assembly says it is not likely to meet its revenue mobilization target for 2017. Out of the estimated revenue target of over 531,000 cedis to be generated internally, the Assembly had collected a little over 105,000 as at the end of May. A report by Benjamin Edu.
Sufficient revenue mobilization remains the major problem facing district assemblies in the country. District Chief Executive for Ahafo South, Joseph Agyemang-Dapaah, says assembly members would need to be proactive in supporting assemblies explore avenues of revenue generation to promote development. Addressing the assembly's first ordinary meeting, Joseph Agyemang-Dapaah described the collection trend as abysmal. Joseph Agyemang-Dapaah charged members to sell the Assembly's policies and programs for communities to better appreciate and contribute meaningfully to the development of the district. The DCE observed the country suffered setbacks largely due to economic mismanagement and increased expenditure, often associated with electioneering activity.
The Assembly had earlier in 2016 paid 128,000 Ghana cedis as counterpart fund to the SIF. The remaining balance is what is due for payment to offset the Assembly indebtedness to contractors and suppliers.
He described the security situation in the district as stable, though some cases of stealing and armed robbery have been recorded within the period.
In the central region, traders in the Cape Coast metropolis want the Metropolitan Assembly to open and allocate shops to them for business. According to the traders, their business have drastically been affected as they are on the verge of collapsing or even worse. Thomas Vincent Khan reports.
The new Kotokraba market has since completion have been surrounded with controversy, making it difficult for the Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly to allocate stalls to traders. A Chinese Exim Bank loan was secured by the then government to construct the market, but close to 8 months after the new market was handed over to the Assembly, it is yet to be open for business. As a result, some traders have taken over the street, doing brisk business. City guards have no option than to direct vehicles owing to the congested nature of the area. Some traders expressed their frustration. Danjuma is the head of the Central Regional Butchers Association and expressed concern about the turnout of event. The Cape Coast Municipal Chief Executive, Ernest Arthur, at the Assembly's sessional meeting, said the issue has been taken out of court for settlement and hopes to allocate shops to traders by July.
The committee is still working. I know they are at the stage where they are on paper allocating the stores to the original occupant so that in excess we'll look at other applications.
The MCE has meanwhile expressed worry about the abysmal collection of revenue by the Assembly. He said about 752,000 cedis has been collected out of the over 20 million targeted for the year 2017. The figure represents 34.12% of the revenue collected.
The Medium Taxpayer Office of the Ghana Revenue Authority on the Spintex Road has targeted to retrieve 80% of unpaid taxes. The move, which is to improve revenue generation, will rope in more medium taxpayers to be compliant.
Last year, the Ghana Revenue Authority mobilized over 200 million cedis in direct tax and several millions in indirect tax, exceeding revenue targets of 0.6%. To increase revenue mobilization, Medium Taxpayers Office on the Spintex Road has launched an educational campaign to rope in more taxpayers into the net. Issues of under-declaration and not paying withholding tax were the focus. An assistant commissioner to the Medium Tax Office spoke about the plans to help mobilize revenue.
Even though they try as much as possible to pay whatever they have to pay, we realize that most of the times they understate. Most of the companies, the individuals will understate their income. And this is the main challenge that we are facing. They don't do the right thing.
He said more needs to be done to increase revenue generation.
Initiated this as education to ensure that people become abreast with the law. That one will deter them from going ahead to evade taxes, and then they will comply with the law.
And a sod has been cut for the construction of a 25,000 Ghana cedi multi-sport complex for the Ganata Secondary School in Dodowa. The project is being financed by the 1992-year students to unearth talent and enhance sports development in the school.
Ganata Senior High School is one of the best schools in the Asiedu-Dartey district with a student population of 400. Aside the challenges in infrastructure and learning materials, sports in the past used to be the bedrock of the school. The 1992-year group of the old students seek to promote sports development among the students. A sword was cut to begin a 25,000 cedi project, which is expected to be completed in 2019.
Phase 1, we think realistically 1 year we should be able to complete it. We should be able to raise 150,000. We're giving ourselves 3 months to mobilize resources to embark on the project.
The headmaster of the school called for more support.
It is well developed. Will attract other sporting organizations to come and hold their events over here, so that at least a little income will come, so that we can expand the whole structure and then provide other activities.
The group also went on a procession on the streets of Dodowa as part of its 25th anniversary.
Let's go to Parliament, where the first Deputy Speaker, Joseph Osei-Wusu, has inaugurated a 7-member management committee to handle parliamentary friendship associations in the House. The committee was established based on the model used by the French Parliament.
There is a growing belief and acceptance that parliamentary friendship associations offer useful and flexible mechanisms for deepening interparliamentary relations and cooperation for positive outcomes.
The French ambassador to Ghana said parliamentary diplomacy was necessary to develop friendship between parliaments of democracies.
The various institutions, stakeholders, partners we engage with in developing that bilateral relation, and among them, top of the list, I shall say, is the Parliament.
Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu emphasized the benefits of parliamentary friendships.
Indeed, as members of Parliament, another unique lesson you can learn from these parliamentary groups is to know how other countries exercise their mandate as Parliament.
Deputy Majority Leader Adjoa Safo said the management committee was meant to facilitate the work of friendship associations.
Parliamentary diplomacy should therefore be seen as a complementary tool to the traditional diplomacy reserved for the executive and the diplomatic corps.
Now, the Accra Regional Police Command is appealing to the general public to help trace the whereabouts of 13-year-old Gifty Andor. A police report signed by ASP Efiatenge indicate Gifty Andor on May 17 this year left home at about 6:30 p.m. and has since not returned. The report further described the missing teenager as dark in complexion and speaks 3 languages, Twi, English and Frafra. All efforts to trace her have not been successful. The police are therefore urging members of the public to report any information on the whereabouts of Gifty Andor to the Railway Police Station or call the following number 0244 060794 or 0549 036446.
34-year-old Isaac Osei has been diagnosed of thoracolumbar scoliosis. Doctors at the Focus Orthopedic Hospital say he will need 50,085 cedis to undergo surgery. They added that his situation is severe and has to undergo surgery by July 20.
According to Isaac, he felt a sharp pain whilst teaching and sought permission to see a doctor. He was later referred to Accra after various tests were run at the Sunyani Hospital. Scoliosis is diagnosed when the backbone curves to the side. In 80% of these cases, doctors do not find the exact reason for a curved spine. Symptoms of scoliosis, however, are muscle spasms, inflammations like appendicitis, with one leg being shorter than the other. Isaac is a graduate and a maths teacher who said he has exhausted all he has on lab tests and transportation from Sunyani to Accra.
After a series of lab tests, the doctor said I have problem with my spinal cord. The cost of the operation is 50,000 Ghana cedis plus, which I cannot offer. I am therefore appealing to the general public to help me raise this amount for my operation so that I can get back to classroom to teach.
Due to the curve in his spine, walking has become difficult as he can't teach until he has the surgery. The maths teacher is appealing to sympathizers and the general public to kindly send their donations through TV3's Social Support Fund 3 Foundation.
All right, you know where to put your contribution, the TV3 Social Support Fund. I mean, you know, no amount is too small, so just bring it, let help those people who need our help. You're watching News 360, and when we return, Thierry Nyan is here with the latest from the world.
Time for sports now here on News 360 with me, Thierry Nyan. Now we start off with the FIFA Confederations Cup final, and that game is still ongoing. The dying minutes of that particular 90 minutes affair between Germany, the world champions, and the South American champions, Chile. Guess how it's going? Germany just are tournament favorites every time they step onto the pitch to play football. They are leading Chile by a 1-0, and they have been absolutely relentless in that particular final against the South American champions. Chile themselves have not really given a bad account of themselves with some very, very good performance starting that game very well. But Germany have come through against the run of play and taking the lead. But earlier, Portugal beat Mexico by 2-1, meaning that Portugal, claims third place. They go away with bronze from Russia. And that is the updates from the FIFA Confederations Cup 2017. All later, as developments will definitely bring to you subsequently right here on TV3. All right, so that's it. But we still, focus on football and now local. At the Babayara Stadium in Kumasi, the 2017 President's Cup between Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Accra Hearts of Oak has been called off due to torrential rains that swept across the stadium on Sunday. Now, the match has been rescheduled for Monday, 3rd July at exactly 3 p.m. The game was tied at 1-1 with 20 minutes left on the clock. Kotoko took the lead through Sadiq Adams in the first half, but Hearts responded courtesy of Kwame Kizito. Kotoko dominated the first half, but it was the opposite in the second half before the rains disrupted play. The Phobians definitely will feel, very hard on by because of that particular end to the game. They were playing some exhilarating football in the second half. Now to the Black Stars, and Samuel Safo made his dream debut as a second-half substitute in a 2-1 defeat to the United States of America on Saturday in an international friendly. The police officer was introduced in the 81st minute to replace Jerry Akamenko in a makeshift right-back role. Safo, who plays for Liberty Professionals, was itching to play his first match for the Black Stars after earning a debut call-up for last month's 2019 African Cup of Nations qualifier against Ethiopia. His rise from protecting the national team to representing them in just under a year is just remarkable. In the Ghana Premier League, Safo has scored 6 goals and has 1 assist. And remember, he's a central defender for Liberty Professionals. Pure motivation right there from Samuel Safo. He never gives up, and maybe that should be our lesson we pick up from that particular story. But away from that, Onia FM Saturday organized a corporate soccer gala at the Al Rayyan International School in East Legon. 16 teams participated in the Fun Games event, with the various teams showcasing their skills on the field. After a 1-1 scoreline in the final game between Martin Luther Stars and National Investment Bank, the game was decided by the penalty shootouts, with Martin Luther Stars emerging the winners of the competition.
It was a corporate event out of the usual office space. There was the usual jama that comes with organization of fun games and excitement. Onia FM brought together 16 corporate institutions for a soccer gala at the Al Rayyan International School Park. Among the institutions that participated included National Investment Bank, HFC Bank, Elliott Foundation, MG Grand Hotel, TV3 and Ayalolo Bus Service. After playing a dull first game, TV3 beat Ayalolo 2-0 in one of the group stage games. Organizer of the event, Bright Asempa, said the purpose of the games was to foster a good relationship among companies.
Let me express our dissatisfaction with the fact that we're not able to reach the final. However, we are very cool with where we've got into. Onia 95.1 FM, we organize this so that we can foster relationship among the corporate organizations, and that is what we have done, and we are happy with that.
The teams were placed in groups of 6, with the winners of each group qualifying to the next stage of the competition. Elliott Foundation, MG Grand Hotel, Martin Luther King School, Onia FM, Nestle Ghana Limited, and National Investment Bank all topped their respective groups. They were further placed into 2 groups to compete against themselves. National Investment Bank Limited hammered host institution Onia FM to qualify for the final from Group A, while Martin Luther King School beat Elliott Foundation 5-3 to meet NIB at the finals. The final game ended in a 1-1 draw, with Martin Luther King School emerging winners after penalty kicks.
And in this segment, the final funeral rites for late veteran actor Kofi Buckner has been held in Accra. Many sympathizers and well-wishers paid glowing tribute to his memory.
Proud to his passing, Kofi Buckner played significant roles in the media industry with appearances in Heritage Africa, Run Baby Run, Elmina, Silver Rain, among others. The late Buckner was also a former director of television at the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation GBC. He worked with Film Africa, Focal Point Productions and Phantom From TV. Retired veteran broadcaster Mike Egan shared fond memories of him during his days at GBC.
We go back many years, over 45 years ago, when he appeared on my TV show, The Mike Egan Show. He came with a group known as the Talent Incorporated. And over the years, I found him to be a perfectionist to a fault. He does everything with impeccable feat.
Ghanaian actor and satirist Kweku Sintin Misa, who was his colleague at the National Film and Television Institute, says he finds it hard to come to terms with his demise.
For me, it's very difficult up to now to think that Charles is dead, you know. Maybe I'm in denial, you know, but it hasn't sunk in. He was so vibrant, he was such a personality, he was so infectious.
According to veteran Ghanaian actor Oscar Provençal, his biggest legacy is mentoring the younger generation.
Watching him inspire a whole generation of young actors at the time, he really raised the bar high.
Producer of Silver Rain movie Juliet Asante, in which he starred, says his legacy still lives on.
You cannot think about the progression of film in Ghana, acting-wise, without thinking about him or talking about him. So his legacy is multifaceted.
Your ability to do the job well, Mr. Bismail. I'll do my best, Your Excellency.
Kofi Buckner has lived an exemplary life, and his memory will continue to linger on after his passing.
Well, that's all time we'll allow for this edition of News 360. Thanks for watching. My name is Issa Moni.
And I am Portia Gabo. Coming up is Bridges of Love. Good night.